I watch my father hand Emily the keys to her new luxury condo, wrapped in a ridiculous silk bow, and something inside me cracks. Not the gentle kind of breaking, the jagged, splintering kind that leaves sharp edges. My name is June, and I've spent 28 years being the good daughter, the responsible one, the one who never asked for handouts or special treatment. Fat lot of good that did me. Oh my God, Uncle Robert, this is too much. Emily's perfectly manicured hands flutter to her chest, her wedding dress catching the light. She's the picture of gracious surprise, but I catch the flash of triumph in her eyes when she glances my way. Nothing's too much for my favorite niece on her wedding day. Dad's voice booms across the reception hall, drawing appreciative murmurs from the guests. The same man who told me to build character by paying my own way through college. The same man who suggested I learn fiscal responsibility by taking out a mortgage instead of helping with the down payment. Mother touches my arm. June, darling, your champagne glass is about to crack. I loosen my death grip on the stem. Did you know about this? It was your father's decision. Her diplomatic tone says everything and nothing. A 3-bedroom condo in Richmond Heights. The words taste like vinegar. That's what, $500,000? More? June. Well, I got a set of copper pots for my engagement last month. Michael, my fiancé, slides his arm around my waist. Hey, those are great pots. We make excellent risotto in them. I love him for trying. But right now, even his warmth feels suffocating. I watch Emily showing off the glossy photos of her new home to her bridesmaids, her mother Sarah hovering nearby with that perpetual Mona Lisa smile. I need some air. I extract myself from Michael's embrace and head for the terrace, ignoring Mother's soft call behind me. The night air does nothing to cool the burning in my chest. Behind me, the reception continues in full swing, crystal clinking, laughter, the band playing some jazzy version of a pop song. I grip the stone balustrade, wondering if I'm the only one who sees how wrong this all is. You're making quite a scene, sweetheart. I don't turn around. Funny, I thought Emily was handling that department with her performance in there. Dad's footsteps stop beside me. Don't be petty, June. It doesn't suit you. What doesn't suit me, Dad? Questioning why my cousin gets a $500,000 wedding gift while I got cookware. Or wondering why she's always been your favorite niece when I'm your only daughter. Emily needs the support. Mark's business hasn't been doing well. And my teaching salary is making me a millionaire. That was your choice of career. His voice hardens. Besides, Emily's different. She's special. The laugh that escapes me sounds foreign to my own ears. Yeah, she's always been special, hasn't she? The golden child. Even when we were kids, it was always Emily this, Emily that. I just never understood why. Something flickers across his face, too quick to catch, but enough to make me pause. For the first time, I wonder if there's more to this story than simple favoritism. You're upset and you're not thinking clearly. He straightens his tuxedo jacket. We'll discuss this when you've calmed down. No, we won't, because that's what always happens, isn't it? I bring up something uncomfortable, and suddenly, it's not the right time to talk about it. June. I'm done pretending everything's fine. I turn to face him fully. Something's not right here, Dad, and I'm going to figure out what it is. He stares at me for a long moment, and I see something I've never noticed before. Fear. It's gone in an instant, replaced by his usual stern authority, but I caught it. And suddenly, I know I'm right. Don't dig too deep, June, he says quietly. Some things are better left buried. He walks away, leaving me with the night hair and a new purpose. I've spent my whole life being the good daughter, accepting the scraps of affection thrown my way. But something tells me it's time to start asking questions. Hard ones. And I don't think anyone's going to like the answers. The family photos mock me from Mother's pristine mantelpiece, 20 years of carefully arranged lies in silver frames. Emily and me at the beach, age 8. Emily's sweet 16, where Dad gave her a car. My high school graduation, where I got a card with a $100 bill. You're obsessing again. Michael's voice cuts through my inventory of injustices. He's chopping vegetables for dinner, the copper pots from our engagement gleaming on the stove. Maybe we should skip Sunday dinner this week and let them think they've won. The wine glass in my hand is already empty. Besides, Mother insisted, says we need to clear the air after the wedding. Because that always works out so well with your family. Before I can respond, my phone buzzes. A text from Emily. Hope you're coming tomorrow. Miss you already. The artificial sweetness makes my teeth ache. I show Michael the message and he raises an eyebrow. Interesting timing. Everything about Emily is perfectly timed. I reach for the wine bottle. Like how she announced her engagement right after we did, or how she always managed to have a crisis whenever I achieved something. June, the doorbell interrupts him. Through the peephole, I see Mother, clutching her designer handbag like a shield. I brought that photo album you asked for, she says when I open the door, though I never asked for anything. Her eyes dart around my apartment, noting the wine bottle, Michael's presence, the general disorder of my life. And I thought we might talk. Michael tactfully retreats to the bedroom with his laptop, leaving us alone. Mother perches on the edge of my couch, extracting a leather-bound album from her bag. I found this while cleaning. She opens it carefully. Look, here's you and Emily at your 5th birthday party. The photo shows us in matching dresses. Emily front and center, me slightly behind, already learning my place. Why are you really here, Mother? She smooths invisible wrinkles from her skirt. Your father is concerned about your behavior at the wedding. My behavior? The laugh burns coming up. What about his behavior? 28 years of playing favorites, and I'm supposed to just smile and accept it. It's more complicated than that, June. Then uncomplicate it for me. I lean forward. Why does Emily get everything handed to her while I get lectures about independence? Why does Dad treat his niece better than his own daughter? Mother's fingers tremble slightly as she turns a page. Your father, he has his reasons. What reasons? It's not my place. It never is it? I stand up, pacing. You always defend him, always make excuses. Even now, you're here doing his dirty work instead of him facing me himself. I'm trying to protect you. Her voice cracks slightly. There are things that would hurt you more than this favoritism you perceive. The word catches me. Perceive? So I'm imagining 28 years of watching Dad dote on Emily while treating me like an afterthought. June, please. No. Something crystallizes in me. You know something. Something about Dad and Emily, don't you? Mother closes the album with decisive snap. Tomorrow at dinner, please. Don't push too hard. Some questions are better left unasked. That's what Dad said at the wedding. I study her face. What are you both so afraid of? She stands, clutching the album to her chest like armor. Just remember that whatever happens, I love you. And everything I've done, everything your father's done, it was to protect this family. From what? But she's already heading for the door, her heels clicking a retreat across my hardwood floors. She pauses at the threshold. Maybe you should look through some of your Aunt Sarah's old photos, before she married your Uncle Mark. The door closes behind her, leaving me with more questions than answers. Michael emerges from the bedroom, concern etched on his face. You okay? I'm already grabbing my keys and phone. I need to make a stop before dinner tomorrow. Where? The public library. I check the time, 2 hours until closing. I want to look through their archive of local newspapers from around the time Sarah and Mark got married. Michael's expression says he thinks I'm going too far, but he just asks, "Want company?" I shake my head. Whatever I'm about to uncover, I need to face it alone first. Because something tells me tomorrow's dinner is going to be about more than just clearing the air. It's going to be about exposing whatever truth my parents are so desperate to keep buried. The microfilm reader hums as I scroll through another month of archived newspapers. My eyes burn, but I can't stop. Not when I'm this close. Mother's hint about Sarah's past keeps echoing in my head, driving me forward through endless society pages and local news. Then I see it. The engagement announcement from 28 years ago stops me cold. Local beauty queen Sarah Mitchell engaged to businessman Mark Thompson. The photo shows Sarah, younger but unmistakable, standing between two men, Mark and my father. The way Dad's hand rests on Sarah's waist, barely visible but intimate, makes my stomach turn. The date catches my eye. 4 months later, a rushed wedding announcement. And 7 months after that, Emily's birth announcement, listed as slightly premature. My hands shake as I print the pages. The librarian's voice startles me. "We're closing in 5 minutes, dear." Outside, the summer evening is thick with humidity, but I barely notice. My phone buzzes, Michael asking where I am. Before I can respond, another text arrives from Emily. "Can't wait to see you at dinner tomorrow. We have exciting news." I almost laugh. Of course she does. The drive home is a blur. Michael's waiting up, concern etched on his face when he sees my expression. "What did you find?" I spread the printouts on our kitchen counter. "Look at the dates. Look at how Dad's looking at Sarah in this photo. And Emily was supposedly premature, but June." Michael's voice is gentle. "Are you sure you're not seeing what you want to see?" "You think I want this to be true?" My voice cracks. "That my father might have, that Emily could be..." My phone rings. Dad's name on the screen makes my heart stutter. "Hello? Your mother told me you've been asking questions." His voice is steel wrapped in silk. "I'm calling to suggest you stop." "Or what, Dad? What are you afraid I'll find?" A pause. "Come to my office tomorrow before dinner. We'll talk." No more deflections, no more "it's complicated." Just come alone. He hangs up before I can respond. Michael watches me, waiting. "What are you going to do?" I stare at the printouts, at the damning timeline they suggest. "I'm going to make copies of these. Then I'm going to his office." "Want me to come?" "No." I touch the engagement photo, where 3 smiling faces hide a web of lies. "But be ready for dinner. I have a feeling it's going to be memorable." Morning finds me in Dad's law firm parking lot, clutching a manila envelope. The security guard recognizes me, waves me through with a smile that feels like another lie. Dad's office is all leather and mahogany, power-dressed in respectability. He doesn't look up from his desk when I enter. "Close the door." I do, but remain standing. "I found some interesting reading material at the library." "Did you?" Still not looking up, I pull out the engagement photo, slide it across his desk. "You and Sarah looked close." Finally, he meets my eyes. Something flickers there. Not fear this time, but something harder. "What exactly are you implying?" "Emily was born 7 months after the wedding, Dad. But she wasn't premature, was she?" He stands slowly, and I see the father I've always feared, the one who could silence a room with a look. "You're playing a dangerous game, June." "No, you played the dangerous game. 28 years ago, with your brother's wife." "You have no proof, don't I?" I pull out more papers. Bank statements showing regular payments to Sarah's personal account, starting before Emily was born. Property records showing you as co-signer on their house. The condo you just gave. Emily. "Enough." His fist hits the desk. "What do you want?" The question catches me off guard. What do I want? Revenge? Justice? The truth? "I want you to tell Uncle Mark." Dad goes very still. "You destroy this family over your jealousy. You destroyed it the moment you chose Sarah over Mom. Over me." My voice doesn't shake anymore. "Tell them at dinner tonight, or I will." I turn to leave, but his words stop me cold. "Emily already knows." I look back. "What?" "She's known since she was 16. His smile is bitter. "Why do you think she's always worked so hard to take everything from you?" The revelation hits like a physical blow. All these years Emily knew. Every smile, every embrace, every moment of forced sisterly affection, all while knowing she was stealing my father's love. "Dinner's at 7, I say, and walk out, leaving him with his empire of lies. Tonight, everything changes. 7 o'clock arrives with the precision of an execution. Mother's dining room gleams like a stage set. crystal glasses catching light like warning signals. Emily sits across from me, radiant in her post-honeymoon glow, while Michael's hand steadies mine under the table. "Before we start," Emily chirps, "I have wonderful news." She glances at Sarah, who nods encouragingly. "We're expecting. It's early, but we couldn't wait to tell everyone. The timing is so perfect it's almost cruel." I watch Dad's face as he processes this new leverage against exposure, this fresh complication in our family's tapestry of lies. "Wonderful news indeed." His voice doesn't waver. "To Emily and new beginnings." Everyone raises their glasses, everyone except me. "No congratulations, June." Emily's smile is razor-sharp. "You seem distracted. Actually, I've been thinking about family lately." I set my glass down with deliberate care. About genetics, inheritance. Funny how things run in families, isn't it? Mother's fork clatters against her plate. Dad's knuckles whiten around his wine glass. "June," Michael whispers, warning in his tone. "Like your eyes, Emily." I continue ignoring him. "They're exactly like Uncle Robert's, aren't they? Not Uncle Mark's at all." The room goes still. Sarah's face drains of color, while Mark looks confused, glancing between his brother and his daughter. "June, that's enough." Dad's voice could freeze hell. "Is it? Because I think we're just getting to the interesting part." I pull out the envelope, but Emily cuts me off. "Do you really want to do this?" Her voice is low, meant only for me. "Destroy everything, including your mother's marriage?" The words hit like a slap. I look at Mother, see the plea in her eyes, and suddenly understand. She's known all along. Every dinner, every holiday, every family photo. She's lived with this knowledge, choosing silence over destruction. "What's going on?" Mark asks, his kind face creased with concern. "Robert, Sarah." Emily stands abruptly. "June's just jealous. She's always been jealous. Even when we were kids, she couldn't stand that daddy, that Uncle Robert was nice to me." "Nice?" I laugh, the sound harsh even to my own ears. "Is that what we're calling it?" "June, please." Mother's voice breaks. "Think about what you're doing." I have thought about it. For 28 years, I've thought about why my father loved his niece more than his daughter. Now I know why. Sarah moves suddenly, knocking over her wine. Red spreads across the white tablecloth like blood. "Mark, we should go. No one's going anywhere." Dad's command freezes everyone in place. "June, outside, now." "It's like you bought Emily's?" "You're upset about the condo." Emily starts, but I cut her off. "I'm upset about the lies. All of them. Every Christmas, every birthday. Every time you played the perfect daughter while knowing—" "That's enough." Dad slams his hand on the table. Glasses rattle. Mother flinches. Mark stands slowly. "Robert, what's she talking about?" The moment stretches like glass about to shatter. I see the choices spinning out before us, truth or lies, destruction or denial, revenge or protection. "Tell him," I say quietly, "or I will." Dad looks at Sarah, then at Emily, then finally at his brother. Something in him seems to crack. "Mark, there's something," but Emily moves faster than any of us expect. She grabs her purse and runs for the door. Mark calls after her, confused and hurt. Sarah starts crying. Mother sits silent, hands folded in her lap like a statue. "I'll go after her," Michael says, but I catch his arm. No. I watch my father, see the weight of decades of deception finally bending his shoulders. Let her run. The truth will still be here when she comes back. The envelope sits unopened on the table, but it doesn't matter anymore. The damage is done. In trying to expose the lies, I've torn open wounds that may never heal. And somewhere in the night, my sister, not my cousin, is running from the truth I forced into the light. The hospital waiting room feels like purgatory. Emily's accident, driving too fast on rain-slicked roads after fleeing dinner, has brought us all here, our family's lies festering under fluorescent lights. Mark paces, his kind face ravaged by confusion and worry. Sarah huddles in a corner, refusing to meet anyone's eyes. Dad stands like a statue by the window, while Mother sits beside me, her hand occasionally twitching toward mine before retreating. "She's asking for you." The nurse's words hit me like an accusation. Everyone turns to stare. "Me?" My voice sounds foreign. "Not her mother." Sarah flinches. The nurse just waits, clipboard in hand. "Go," Michael whispers. "You started this. Maybe you need to finish it." The walk to Emily's room feels endless. She lies there, pale against white sheets, an IV dripping steadily. A monitor beeps, counting heartbeats, hers and her unborn child's. "Come to see your handiwork?" Her voice is raw. The big reveal didn't go quite as planned, did it? I never wanted... What? To destroy everything. She laughs, then winces. "Guess what? You did. Uncle Mark, Dad, whatever I'm supposed to call him now, he's demanding a paternity test. Sarah's crying. Robert's lawyer's probably already drafting divorce papers." "You knew." The words taste like ash. "All this time, you knew and played along." "Of course I knew. Sarah told me when I was 16. Her hand drifts to her stomach. "She said I deserved to know why Robert always favored me, why he paid for everything, why he loved you more than me." Something flickers across her face, not quite guilt, not quite triumph. "I didn't ask for any of this. But you took it all anyway." A nurse appears, checking monitors. When she leaves, Emily's voice drops lower. "There's something you don't know. Something worse." My stomach turns. What could be worse? "Why do you think Sarah told me the truth?" Emily's eyes lock onto mine. "Because she found out Robert had another affair. 29 years ago." The room tilts. "What are you saying?" "Ask Linda. Ask her why she really married Robert so quickly. Ask her about the summer before, when she was dating Mark." The monitor's beeping speeds up, matching my pulse. "You're lying." "Am I?" "Think about it, June. Why did she stay silent all these years? Why did she let Robert favor me? Maybe because she had her own guilty secret." My legs won't hold me. I sink into the chair beside her bed. "If you're saying what I think, that Mark might be your father. That this whole time, while you were judging me for being Robert's secret daughter, you might be..." "Stop." The word tears from my throat. "Hurts, doesn't it? Finding out everything you believed was a lie." Her hand reaches for mine, surprisingly gentle. "We're more alike than you think, sister. Both of us caught in their web of lies." The door opens. Mark stands there, looking lost. "June, your mother's asking for you." I stand on shaky legs. At the door, Emily calls out. "Tell Linda I kept her secret all these years. But maybe it's time for all the truth to come out." In the hallway, Mother waits. One look at my face and she knows. "Emily told you." "Is it true?" She closes her eyes. "I loved Mark first, but when I got pregnant, Robert offered to marry me, to keep it quiet, to protect his brother from scandal. So, my whole life, my hatred of Emily, my jealousy, my need for Dad's approval, it was all based on a lie." "June, don't." I back away from her reaching hand. "Just don't." I walk past them all, past Michael's concerned face, past Dad's questioning look, past Mark, who might be my father, and out into the rain. My phone buzzes. A text from Emily. "Now you know how it feels. The question is, what are you going to do about it?" I stare at the message, rain mixing with tears on my phone screen. In trying to expose one truth, I've unleashed an avalanche of lies. And somewhere in this mess of DNA and deceit, I have to decide. Do I keep pulling at these threads, even if it unravels everything I thought I knew about myself? The rain falls harder. I start walking, not sure where I'm going, but knowing I can't stay here. Trapped in this hospital with all our family's sins. 3 days after Emily's revelation, I sit in a sterile medical lab, watching the technician prep my DNA test. Michael offered to come, but this feels like something I need to face alone. The cotton swab scrapes against my cheek, collecting 28 years of identity in a single sample. My phone buzzes. Another missed call from Mother. She's left dozens of messages I can't bring myself to hear. Dad, Robert, hasn't tried to contact me at all. Typical. Results in 3 to 5 business days, the technician says, labeling my sample. Next to it sits Mark's specimen, submitted yesterday. He didn't hesitate when I asked, just looked at me with those kind eyes that might belong to my real father. The elevator dings as I leave. Emily steps out, one hand protectively over her growing belly. Fancy meeting you here. Did you follow me? Paranoid much? She holds up a prescription bottle. Prenatal vitamins. But since you're here... She trails off, studying my face. You did it, didn't you? The test? Why do you care? Because you're not the only one whose world exploded. Her perfect composure cracks slightly. Mark's barely speaking to Sarah. Robert's sleeping at his office. And Linda, well, you'd know how she's doing if you answered her calls. Don't pretend you care about any of them, but I do care. That's what you never understood. She steps closer. I didn't ask for Robert to be my father any more than you asked for Mark to be yours. We're both victims here. Victims? I laugh harshly. You played this game for years. You knew everything and still took every advantage. Because it was easier than facing the truth. Her voice echoes in the empty hallway. Just like you're doing now, running away from Linda because you can't face what it means. My hands shake. You don't know anything about... I know you're scared. Scared that if Mark is your father, it means your whole life has been a lie. That all your anger at me, at Robert, at everyone, it was misplaced. That maybe you're the one who's been wrong all along. The truth of her words hits like a physical blow. I lean against the wall, suddenly dizzy. Want to know the real kicker? Emily continues, softer now. Sarah's not my biological mother. The world tilts again. What? Robert had an affair with someone else first. Sarah agreed to raise me as her own to keep the scandal quiet. So you see, June, none of us are who we thought we were. My phone buzzes again. Michael this time. I ignore it. Why are you telling me this? Because tomorrow at noon, Robert's calling a family meeting. Everyone's coming. Linda, Mark, Sarah. All the secrets are coming out. She touches my arm lightly. You should be there. I can't. You started this, June. You wanted the truth. Well, here it is, in all its ugly glory. She steps back into the elevator. Noon tomorrow, Robert's office. Time to face the music. The doors close, leaving me alone in the hallway. My phone buzzes one more time, a text from an unknown number. When I open it, my breath catches. It's an old photo, dated the summer before I was born. Mother and Mark, young and in love, standing by a lake. Her wearing his jacket, both of them looking at each other like nothing else exists. Another text follows. I have more proof if you want it. Sarah. I slide down the wall, the cold tile grounding me as my world spins out of control. In trying to expose one family's secret, I've unleashed an avalanche that's buried us all. Tomorrow at noon, we'll gather to sort through the wreckage, but tonight, I have to decide. Do I really want to know the final truth? Or was Emily right? Am I just as guilty of hiding from reality as the rest of them? The lab upstairs holds my DNA sample, ticking down to an answer I'm no longer sure I want. 3 to 5 business days to either confirm or destroy everything I thought I knew about myself. And tomorrow, noon, Robert's office, where the rest of our carefully constructed lies will finally come crashing down. Robert's office feels smaller than I remember, crowded with our family's lies. Everyone's here, Mother in the corner, hands twisted in her lap, Mark by the window, looking lost, Sarah perched on the leather couch beside Emily, and Robert behind his massive desk, still trying to control the narrative. The DNA results sit unopened in my bag. They arrived this morning, but I haven't looked. Some truths need witnesses. Before we start, Robert says, I want to make clear, no. My voice surprises even me with its strength. You don't get to control this anymore. I pull out the envelope along with Sarah's photos, the evidence of Mother and Mark's relationship, of Robert's affair with Sarah, of 28 years of calculated deception. June, Mother starts, but I cut her off by dropping the photos on Robert's desk. Everyone in this room has lied to someone they claim to love. My hands don't shake anymore. So let's start with the biggest lie. Emily isn't Mark's daughter. She's yours, isn't she, Robert? Mark makes a sound like he's been punched. Sarah reaches for him, but he steps away. And that's not all. I turn to Mother. You were with Mark first, weren't you? Until you got pregnant with me. Then Robert stepped in to save everyone from scandal. Emily stands suddenly. There's more. She looks at Sarah. Tell them everything. Sarah's perfect composure finally cracks. I'm not Emily's biological mother. Robert had an affair with my sister. When she died in the car accident, we decided to keep it in the family. The bitter laugh comes from Mark. How generous of you all. Robert rises, his authority crumbling. Everything I did was to protect. To protect what? I slam the DNA results on his desk. Your reputation, your control. Look what your protection has done to us. You want the truth? Robert's voice rises. Fine. Yes, Emily is my daughter. Yes, I married Linda to protect Mark. Yes, we've all lied. But you, June, you're the one who couldn't leave well enough alone. You had to dig and dig until everything fell apart. Because you never loved me enough. The words explode out of me. You gave Emily everything while I begged for scraps of attention. Was it guilt? Or did you just love her more because she wasn't really yours to keep? Silence falls. Mother stands, moving toward me. June, that's not. Open the results. Emily's voice cuts through the tension. It's time. My hands tremble as I tear open the envelope. The paper feels too light to carry such weight. I scan the text, the scientific language blurring, until I find the conclusion. The laugh that escapes me sounds hysterical. Well, isn't this perfect? I look at Robert. All these years trying to make up for your guilt about Emily, and I'm not even your daughter. I'm Mark's. Mark sinks into a chair. Mother covers her face. But it's Robert's expression that catches me. Not surprise, but resignation. You knew, I realize. You've always known. Of course he knew. Emily stands beside me now, just like I've always known about Sarah. Just like Mother knew about you. We're all just pieces on his chessboard, aren't we, Robert? I gave you everything, he says quietly. No. I straighten, something shifting inside me. You gave us lies, but now we're giving them back. I turn to Mark, my father, seeing my own eyes reflected in his. I'd like you to walk me down the aisle at my wedding, if you want to. He nods, tears streaming freely. June, Robert starts, but I hold up my hand. I'm done. With the lies, the manipulation, all of it. I look at Emily. We're sisters in everything but blood. Maybe that's enough. She takes my hand, her other hand resting on her stomach. More than enough. Mother moves to Mark's side, where she perhaps should have been all along. Sarah sits alone, her perfect world finally shattered, and Robert watches from behind his desk as his carefully constructed empire of lies crumbles. Family dinner at my place next Sunday, I announce. For those who want to start fresh, no lies, no secrets. I head for the door, then pause. Oh, and Robert, don't expect an invitation. As I walk out, Emily beside me, I realize that sometimes revenge isn't about destroying others. It's about rebuilding yourself from the ruins they left behind. My wedding dress feels lighter than I expected, like shedding an old skin. In the church's antechamber, Mark adjusts his tie for the 10th time, his hands shaking slightly. You look just like your mother did, he says softly. That summer by the lake. The photo Sarah sent sits in my jewelry box at home, a reminder that some truths were always there, waiting to be seen. Did you ever regret not fighting for her? Every day. He smooths my veil. Until today. Seeing you here, knowing I get to walk you down the aisle, maybe things worked out how they were supposed to. Emily waddles in, her bridesmaid dress altered to accommodate her growing belly. Everyone's ready. She hands me a small package. This came for you, from Robert. I almost don't open it. But beneath the wrapping paper lies a familiar silver frame. The photo of Emily and me at the beach, age 8. Behind it, a note. You were always my daughter, even if not by blood. I'm sorry I made you doubt that. Typical Robert, Emily says, watching my face. Still trying to have the last word. It doesn't matter anymore. I set the frame aside. We're writing our own story now. Mother appears in the doorway, tears already threatening her perfect makeup. She and Mark share a look, brief but heavy with history. Then she turns to me. Michael's waiting. Are you ready? The church fills with familiar faces. Our reconstructed family in the front pews. Sarah sits alone, her perfect posture finally showing cracks. The divorce papers were finalized last week. Mother's are still pending, but the outcome is certain. As Mark leads me down the aisle, I catch fragments of our new reality. Emily's hand protectively over her stomach, carrying the next generation of our complicated legacy. Mother's fingers intertwined with her new boyfriend's. A kind man with no connection to our tangled past. Michael at the altar, smiling like he's never doubted me, even when I doubted everything else. The ceremony passes in a blur until the minister asks, "Who gives this woman?" Mark's voice is clear. Her mother and I do. At the reception, Emily pulls me aside. "I have something to tell you." She glances around conspiratorially. It's twins, a boy and a girl. "Emily, I want you to be their godmother." Her hand finds mine. They should know their aunt. The real story, all of it. No more lies. The dance floor fills. I watch Mother and Mark share an awkward waltz. Decades of what-ifs dissolving into something like peace. Sarah approaches them afterward, and to everyone's surprise, they talk quietly in the corner. 3 people finally facing their shared past. Michael wraps his arms around me. Having any regrets about exposing all those secrets? I think about Robert's empty seat, about the price of truth and the weight of lies. No, but I understand them better now. Why they lied, why they hid. Love makes people do desperate things. Speaking of desperate things, Emily interrupts, grinning. Sarah just asked Mark to help with the twins after they're born. Apparently, she's decided being a grandmother matters more than being right. And Mother, already planning the nursery at her new place, says the twins will need somewhere to stay when they visit their other grandmother. I watch our patchwork family, bound by choice now, not just blood or lies. Mark dancing with his grandchildren-to-be still in Emily's belly. Mother laughing with her new boyfriend. Sarah and Emily planning a future that doesn't depend on maintaining perfect appearances. The silver frame beach photo sits on the gift table. I pick it up, really looking at it for the first time. 2 little girls smiling at the camera, unaware of the complicated web of love and lies surrounding them. But maybe that's what family is. Not the perfect story we pretend to live, but the messy truth we choose to face together. "Ready to dance?" Michael asks. I set the frame down and take his hand. Behind us, Emily starts gathering everyone for a family photo. A new one, with all our imperfect truths showing. This time I stand right where I belong, no longer in anyone's shadow.